Pay-per-view fight week. We got UFC 307 going down this Saturday in Salt Lake City, Utah. And you already know with this big card breakdown, my other hosts joining me for this episode, the voice behind the camera, we got my guy. Say what's up, bro.
Shama.
You already know what it is. My guy Drew's here, joining me on this pay-per-view breakdown. Before we get to UFC 307, I think it's an underrated card, man. I see a lot of
You're one of the only ones, man. They've been killing the card.
I know they've been killing the card, but I think from early prelims to main card, I think there's some interesting matchups, and it's going to show with my picks. And I don't think you guys are going to like my picks that much this week. I'm kind of going against the grain. I'm just going to say that right now. But I do want to recap UFC Paris, my picks for this card, and just kind of give some spotlights for some performances on that card. But my winner circle, my picks did go 9-5 for UFC Paris. I was rolling first 7 fights on the card. I hit the first 7 fights of the card. I thought I was having the hot hand. 2 underdogs I hit, within those 7 fights in that streak. And then we got to the featured prelim of the fight of the card with Kutalaba and Arslan. And from that fight on, I went 2-5 for the rest of the card. So I was having the hot hand. I was feeling it. I thought I was going to have at least 12, 11 fights right, but I got humbled in the main card. But yeah, man, I just want to shine some light on some performances. So I have to start off with the main event with Money Moicano getting just a vicious beating of Benoit Saint Denis. And then with the rankings coming out this week, Money Moicano doesn't get moved up in the rankings at all, doesn't get rewarded for his big win, and it's a disgrace. I don't know what the UFC is doing, but they are doing Moicano bad.
And usually, that's the thing that was kind of weird to me on that one, was that usually Dana likes his loud mouths. He likes his guys who are going to promote fights and who are going to get people interested. There aren't a lot of people in the division, let alone the UFC, that are doing it like him. And not even at this fool, it's like his third language.
I know.
He's doing it all this broken English, talk about the French government and all this stuff.
It's almost like humble brag too. I think he's well aware of his skill and he's confident, but the way he talks trash, it kind of has like a humble
he
tone
has
in
like
it
a
almost.
Political message behind it, or like a life lesson involved in it. I don't know. It's weird, because you would think that they would want to push a guy like that, a personality like that, who's backing it up with results and who's he's hungry. He's actually saying yo, I want to fight. What's up? Let's go. I'm that guy. And they're not letting it show through the rankings. That's crazy.
And then something that Drew told me before recording is Benoit Saint Denis didn't move in the rankings either. That was the second loss in a row, second finish in a row, him getting finished, and he's still the same ranking, which is insane to me. I don't know who's running those rankings. Dana's talking about AI. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw something about that earlier. Chill out.
It's like, why isn't someone in the room not running those rankings? I don't know. It's strange. But I do want to talk about the co-main. Brendan Allen, you were doing good on the feet with a striker. I thought your way to winning that fight was gaining that respect, and you were piecing him up in the third round, a big third round, what probably would have swayed you that win. And brother, you go shooting for takedowns, bro. What are we doing here? Oh my gosh. She was stuffing the takedowns all night, and you decide to go with the takedowns again and again. Again, you were having success on the feet. I mean, some pictures that came out, you were touching Imavov up, bro. And you still decide to try the takedowns. I don't understand some jiu-jitsu people. You guys are just fucking killing me. I respect your art, but god dang it, bro. If you're winning striking, strike. You know what comes to mind is Glover and
Yuri. Yeah.
Glover was winning in the fifth.
Touching him up, piecing him.
Boxing his head off.
Piecing him, and then he says,
Let me shoot for a takedown. Oh, this man gets submitted.
Oh, broke my heart. Yo, man. I had such a huge parlay on that card. I don't like either. I still see Glover and I get mad at him for shooting. I remember I was in a stairwell of the restaurant I was working at, and I started punching boxes because Glover shot. I was like, no, he
And-
just had the knockout.
And Yuri
What are you doing?
was stumbling, but he was rocked.
Thought he was done.
And you
And he wanted to, instead of finishing the fight, he just wanted to close it out safely with the takedown. Oh man.
It breaks my heart, bro.
But I mean, also, if that don't happen, then maybe we don't have Poetan, doing what he's doing now on the revenge tour for his.
The silver lining is there. William,
but you're to that point though, like you're absolutely correct. I
brother,
maybe it's a comfort thing for jiu-jitsu guys.
I don't know.
That it's like, all right, I got him, I got it in the bag. Let me just close it out by
like,
finishing on top.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't get it, man.
William Gomis gets gifted the split decision win in Paris. Paris backing their guy on the scorecards. I thought Brito won that fight. I did put the robbery face mask on when I posted my recap for that. I thought it was a little bit. I do have to rewatch that, but Brian Battle though, Brian Battle now. He was known for his jiu-jitsu ground game going into tough.
What?
But this man was standing in the pocket with Kevin Jousset, and holy shit, son.
Yo, and talking about like he got on first of all, the walkout.
Hey,
the walkout was crazy.
With the Ye and Jay-Z.
And that should have let you know when he walked out to the throne, and then he talked the most spiciest on the mic afterwards. Yeah, that was like hilarious.
It was.
You thought a Frenchman was gonna come in here and knock me? Oh man! And that's the thing, like he backed it all up, man.
He did.
Like he was the star of the show for me. Like he got, and I think the biggest story coming out of it will be the Moicano ranking and all that, and I mean his performance too, and what's going to be next for him. But like, man, Brian Battle,
woo, my favorite performance of that day. That was to stand in the pocket and trade with the striker like Jousset, and finish him that way. My goodness,
it made me. You know what it made me think of? It made me think of the last fight that I saw, Protez fight.
Oh,
and it was like almost one of those. Okay, you see something in a fighter that it's like, okay, this guy, there's something here. There's something here. I don't know if it's like superstardom, I don't know, but there's this guy, he's got it. There's a lot there, like not just the fighting, but like the personality, the aura, all of that. Like I think Brian Battle's gonna be a name, just like Protez too. Like Protez after that last fight, oof. I'm with you now with Protez, man. That dude, that's a bad boy. And Brian Battle, that was a bad boy on Saturday, man.
He may be broke now after being fined from the Paris Athletics, getting that huge fine for the walkout song,
yeah,
and what he said on the mic after that. So, but hey, you got some respect over here, Brian Battle. Yeah, Brian Battle is going to be a very interesting prospect here in the welterweight division. Someone to look out for. Morgan getting that sweet knockout over Gabriel Miranda. Mafrovola.
Woo!
Brother, oh you are at one of the best wrestling gyms in the sport with Longo and Sarah. I know you like to put on a show for the fans. It caters to the fans heavy of your brawling, style. But brother, you need to use that wrestling, my guy. You need to shoot for your life on some of these and use that wrestling, because
he's the opposite of what we were just talking about. Like, brother, just do it.
Ziam, that was a nasty, probably knockout nominee of the year. I think that was some nasty stuff. Frost Ziam with the knockout win was spectacular. Ian Kutulaba, just an ugly fight, I think. But again, I could have gone either way, split decision win. But yeah, that's where the downfall for me and my picks went down. So Umar Sy, I want to just say something about him. People were kind of coming into this as him being a prospect in the 205 division. Yeah, he won by unanimous decision, but boy, did he have some adversity that he had to go through in this fight, and people were making it. I mean, his line in this fight was a huge favorite. I don't know if he's there yet. I see the skill though. Tall, rangy striker with some upside in the jiu-jitsu as well, has some subs. I see the talent, but I don't know if he's there yet. Ludovic Klein just destroying Roberts. Oh, well, Roberts did put up a good fight, my bad. Eileen Perez. I am waiting for the day. I hope the UFC capitalizes on this beef with her and Tracy Cortez. Tracy is in a different weight class, so I don't know where they meet with the catch weight, because we know damn well Eileen Perez ain't making flyweight. She missed weight for this fight.
Really bad. Too.
Really bad. It was
really
a scary sight for her weighing in for this fight. And then she goes into the fight, submits her opponent in the first round, and then decides to twerk. Not only twerk, but then she, switches up her position to make sure she is in her face.
After old girl rolls, tries to kind of move out the way.
Yeah. She positions herself to make sure her opponent sees it. People were loving it. People were eating that shit up online. I get it. But oh man, I'm waiting for the day to fade an Eileen Perez. I think the underdog money, who does she go against? Someone who can defend a takedown. I think Perez is going to be in for a rude awakening.
Yes.
One of the funner Daniel Barres versus Victor Altamirano. Jacqueline Cavalcanti, thank you, winning a split decision over Nora Knoll. Listen, I don't know. I don't get the excitement around Nora Knoll, but I'm glad my girl Cavalcanti shut that shit up. And then Chris Duncan, one of my favorite underdogs that I got right for the picks, derailing a very hype train of Balaji Oki. Telling y'all, man, you better stop sleeping on Chris Duncan, man. I know he's going to meet his maker when he fights a great striker, but that was not the day. So let's get into this, man. UFC 307 card. You know how we do it. We start from the early prelims. We work our way up to the main event. So we got the OG start kicking this fight card off. We got Orem, Utah's finest. We have Court McGee coming into this fight. And he's going to fight the Dirty Bird. We got Tim Means. I love me some Tim Means, man. Let's start with Court McGee first. He is coming into this fight, 3-fight losing streak. Court does his best work getting his opponent against the cage, making a grueling fight against the cage, and then he will work in the takedowns. Court is going to have he does have okay power in his hands. I'm not going to say it's one death touch, but he does have power. Has a good jab. If he can find a home for his jab early in this fight against Tim Means, it could present some problems for Tim Means. But Court McGee has been tough and durable throughout his career. Only been finished by TKO and knockout 3 times in his whole professional career. So, yeah, looking back at it, but as of recent, those knockouts have been coming as of recent. So you mix in the age with him getting knocked out, and he's 39 or something like that, 39 years old, coming to this fight, it doesn't sit well with me. Now to the Dirty Bird. He's 1-4 in his last 5. He has been finished 3 times out of those 4 losses as well. But he is a very good striker, mixing things up. He might not look like he has power, but Tim, he can get some people out of here, man. If Means can stuff takedowns and keep this fight on the feet, he can easily take this fight. The volume and the variety of strikes may be a lot for Court McGee to handle, but Court is a vet through and through. Not a very exciting style, but he does find ways to muscle out decisions or find his way in top control on the ground. So again, I think it just comes down to Court McGee's chin at 39 years old. I know that Tim Means is getting chinned as well as of recent, but the variety of strikes and striking on the feet for Tim Means, it has me more comfortable for me to go Tim Means. But I think aside that people, so I feel like the majority of the crowd is leaning towards the decision here for both fighters. People are saying that this fight goes the distance. But for me, I'm going Tim Means by decision or by submission here. I think this fight does get to the ground. I think Tim Means has a very underrated jiu-jitsu game. If people don't know, but I shouldn't say underrated, but it's underrated to a lot of the people. But Tim Means is very nasty with the submissions, and I think, he's very crafty as well with the grappling. So I think Court does get takedowns in this fight, but I think Tim Means locks up a submission here and wins by submission. Next fight. Oh my gosh, can't believe she's back. She's back, guys. We have Carla Esparza.
No one asked her to be back either.
Coming out of retirement. She retired and now she's coming back one more time.
I was gonna say, I thought she retired
2 years
already.
So
It's only been once?
Yeah, once. And now she announced that this is her final fight before the fight. So her headspace is already there. It's already there in retirement. She knows that this fight is it. So we can take that two ways. We can take it as she goes out there and just decides to put everything out there, shoots for takedowns, shoots like crazy. We know she's not going to strike. Or she's already thinking about her kid that she just had. She just gave birth. She's coming off a 2-year layoff, which doesn't look well to me. And that in her last fight, losing the belt to Wei Li, got her ass kicked. And then the last time she won was the Rose fight, which was one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my life.
That was a really bad. Man, you just brought me back on that one.
And I was watching that with people. I was watching with my in-laws' family, and I was like, "Shit, dog! I swear, not every fight's like this."
He turns you into that.
It was embarrassing
on Twitter. Yeah.
Like, oh shit, guys, listen. It's just one of those nights. Okay, it was embarrassing. It was a terrible fight. So again, I think Carla's way to winning this fight is obviously getting this fight to the ground, using her wrestling, and possibly, the ground and pound way to get a finish. But Tecia Pennington here kind of went through the same thing that Carla did. Gave birth, now came back, fought Mackenzie Dern last year. And then this year she fought Tabitha Ritchie, which I think she got robbed in that decision against Tabitha Ritchie. And Ritchie's a really tough fighter as well. So Tecia already went through the route that Carla Esparza is going through, but she's coming back stronger and she looks better than Carla. I think Tecia, she can be taken down, but she is so good at just scrambling back to her feet. Strong hips. She's very explosive. She's a tornado. Just a flurry of punches. She throws a lot of volume. I think Tecia is going to be obviously my pick, with Carla thinking about retirement. But I think Tecia I think she's too explosive. And her strength in this is Esparza's strongest suit as well in the wrestling. So I think Tecia just has stronger hips to defend most of these takedowns. So
it's like you said, like you got one lady who fought a couple months ago, who fought 5 months ago. You have another who hasn't fought in almost 2 years, had a baby, came out of retirement to be the second fight
on an early prelims
on a Salt Lake City card.
Like,
I don't. It almost like is there financial issues or something? I don't know. Like, because if that's the case, and she's just like, is she just showing up to get a check? Is what's like, I don't. Her coming back, for a retirement fight I guess that's the point of it, is to like officially say like, hey, I'm lay down my gloves in the cage and like, I don't know. Something don't add up. Math ain't mathing with Carla.
Does she get a send-off video?
Oh God, no. No, for winning a belt in one of the worst
divisions
title fights ever and divisions, and then losing it in your very first defense and getting absolutely battered for it.
Just leave it to the speech, guy.
No,
leave it for a speech. We don't need a.
If Joe's gonna be there, let Joe interview her and do all that. Let her lay down her gloves and be done with it. But
why?
That's what I mean. Why? I really don't understand the retirement fight. I don't get it. The retirement fight 2 years after retiring.
Yeah. Very interesting move for Carla to come back for this fight against Tecia Pennington. And fighting on her early prelims. She was saying, Carla was saying that she's gonna do all she can to get that bonus, but we know damn well that if she's getting a bonus, we know that it was a bad night of fights.
Yo, if she gets a bonus, we're in for a long night Saturday, man.
So give me Tecia Pennington by decision here, obviously.
Minus 175, minus 170, pretty much across the board for Tecia.
I would definitely leave it to a money line. Good money line. Yeah, it's a good number.
Fight built for a decision.
Yeah. Okay, guys. This is where shit gets interesting a little bit. We have Ryan Superman Spann versus OSP. Ovince St. Preux. One of the more interesting careers that I've seen probably coming to the UFC. This man has the tools. OSP, I'm talking about. I feel like he had the tools, but sometimes a lot of times, actually, I shouldn't say all the time, but sometimes this man looks unmotivated to fight and looks like he's just there to pick up the check, his win money or his show money, and he's good. I can't believe he's been on the roster this long.
Dude.
It's crazy that OSP is this old. But yeah, man. So people talk about Spann's power. Okay, I get it. But I think this power might be a little bit overrated. The people that Ryan Spann has knocked out have been the chinniest of chins that he's knocked out. But Ryan Spann not being able to put away Anthony Smith doesn't sit well with me. Ryan Spann can get things done on the ground with submissions, but I don't think Ryan Spann or this fight, especially with OSP, who has a crafty jiu-jitsu game as well. I mean, this man's putting his shoulder.
Man, the Von Flus, bro.
Like, we can't sleep on OSP on the ground as well. If it does go to the ground, I lean OSP. Now, again, it just comes down to where is OSP at mentally. Because sometimes he shows out. Sometimes he shows up like his last fight, beating Kennedy Nchukwu, who I think in the 205 division, I think Kennedy is a tough opponent to get a win against. And OSP beat him in his last fight. He looked good. If we go off recency bias here, Ryan Spann against Anthony Smith in his last fight just doesn't put it together for me. And he got knocked out against Guskov in his last fight as well. Who Guskov was known for being chin or having, this glass chin, and he can't get Guskov out of there as well. So that's why I kind of point out, like, maybe Ryan Spann's power is just a bit overrated. Yeah, it's fast and it's powerful, but it's almost like he's just throwing it out there, just to throw it out there to scare his opponent, but he's not knocking anyone out. Except the Dominic Reyes, obviously. But
I was gonna say, yeah, Reyes, that was 2 years ago. It was his last, and that's after he missed weight.
I've had really terrible luck getting a pulse for Ryan Spann's career, and we see the power, right? We see the explosive 1 rounds, but with this being an elevation, being in Utah, I'm going off recency bias here, and I'm going the OG. I'm going OSP. I know that's going to be. I know it's going to be. Not a lot of people are going to like this, but I am going OSP, the underdog pick here.
Let's see what that's. You got OSP right now at the highest number you got him as plus 195. He goes all the way up to plus 215 in certain books. There's good value on that one. The old Tennessee Vol.
And it's not like I'm highly confident in this pick. Like, yeah, like he could get slept. OSP could get slept. But
you covered. You said it depends on his mind state, man. It depends which version of him shows up.
And what I've seen recently from both, with OSP coming to this fight with the win and Ryan Spann being on a losing streak, not being able to put it together, not putting away these fighters who thought they have glass chins. Again, it doesn't sit well with me that he can't finish Anthony Smith, which I think Anthony Smith is. I'm so over Anthony Smith. I've tried to back Lionheart for so long, but I just cannot do it anymore.
Guess what, man?
Shame
He's gonna
on
be.
myself.
You know he's gonna be on the post game.
Shame on myself.
You know he's gonna be on the post game Saturday.
So I'm going OSP, man. I'm going the big dog here. I'm going the 40-year-old fighter here, which people are very against of, fade the 40-year-old, but not all 40-year-olds are washed. And I think OSP does a little bit. All right. So give me OSP, man. It's kind of crazy. I'll never forget when OSP slept Shogun Rua, and it broke my heart, bro. Shogun. When we were about to talk about Ihor Potieria, who slept Shogun Rua in Brazil and danced on him. This shit pissed me off.
Yeah, he got Shogun twice.
Oh,
he got Shogun with a knockout and by decision a couple of years ago, like in one of Shogun's last fights. Or split decision. Yeah,
my guy, man.
I don't care. Shogun's still a GOAT, man.
Y'all don't know about Pride Shogun, man. Get out of here.
Shogun would be an absolute superstar today.
Oof.
Like with his fighting style, kicking dudes in the face from Pride. Yeah, he'd be an absolute star today.
Look up those highlights, man.
Please do. The Pride ones, too. Don't look up the UFC ones. Except for when he beat Machida.
What a time. I loved it. So next fight, we have Cesar Almeida versus Ihor Potieria. Again, this is a striking fight, and Potieria has had trouble finding his weight class. He started off at 205 and was having very trouble just, taking that power from 205ers. So he's moving down to middleweight, which I think is his proper weight class. Has looked good in these fights at middleweight. But with Cesar Almeida, being a high-level kickboxer, people talk about him beating Poatan and kickboxing. Can he defend the takedown? And that was the big thing about him and Roman Kopylov in his last fight. Kopylov turned into a wrestler, and Almeida just could not cannot defend a takedown that night. And I went with Cesar Almeida in that fight. Shame on me. But Ihor Potieria, he does have the wrestling in his back pocket. Now, what makes me go with the Brazilian here and Cesar Almeida again, and I hope I don't get it doesn't bite back this time, and I don't look like a fool here, but what gives me the confidence in this pick is fighting at elevation, and I've seen Ihor Potieria fade in fights a lot. Even him finding a proper weight class at middleweight, he's still fading in these fights. So I think Ihor is going to have an explosive first half of this fight if it goes that long. But if he does decide to use the wrestling, I think that's him shooting himself in his own foot with the high elevation. And with Ihor being chinny as well, we've seen him being knocked out, not responding well to punches. So I'm going to take Cesar Almeida here one more time. He's a huge favorite. Yeah, I'm going to go Cesar Almeida in this.
It's your last chance, Cesar.
Yeah, it really is, bro. Like, if you're losing to Ihor Potieria, I cannot do this anymore. And you're at minus 400, what I'm saying right now. So next fight, we have one of the more interesting fights. When I was breaking this fight down, kind of had trouble with this one. We have Austin Hubbard versus Alexander Hernandez. Again, Alexander Hernandez is one of these guys, man. Had a very interesting career. But just I think he just has trouble putting it together. So Hernandez had 1-4 in his last 5. He's been back and forth with weight classes, trying to find the weight class. He went from 155, didn't have success, and then he moved down to weight to 145. Had even terrible outcomes with fights there, and his body just couldn't make that weight. He was killing himself, and then now he's back at 155, which I think he should stay there. I don't think he should ever have moved down to 145 in the first place. He's a very talented fighter. He can wrestle, not the best wrestler, but he can. It's there. I think he's a good talent. But you know what's crazy when I think about people being humbled is when he was talking that mess to Donald Cowboy Cerrone. And then Cerrone just dismantled this man. But, that kind of plays into probably my biggest downfall, my biggest negative for Alexander Hernandez, is I think he's a bit too confident to where he's going to go into these fights thinking he's just the bee's knees and he's the business, and he just thinks he's way better than his opponent.
He gonna win. He thinks he can win by just showing up, by being there.
And then when he becomes the nail, you see this confidence break mid-fight. Well, when he's getting hit back, he doesn't respond well, and we see him just decline performance-wise in these fights. So it's almost like people breaking his will in front of us, and we see his performances go downhill from there on. So with Austin Hubbard, I'm not a big fan of Austin Hubbard, but where Hubbard thrives, he's trained with dogs like Gaethje and Chepe Mariscal, and now he trains with Bilal. That seems like a very popular recipe.
He's been a popular corner man lately.
Like Hubbard is going to be in Hernandez's face all fight. Like he's just built like that. I think Hubbard is slept on, even though I'm not a fan of his. I think he is slept on a bit with skill. I don't think he's going to be successful with takedowns that much in this fight. I think Hernandez could defend the takedowns, but I think it's just the constant, steady stalking pressure that Hubbard presents to Alex Hernandez. I think Hernandez struggles with, and I think, again, we see the will and the confidence break in this fight for Hernandez. I have backed Hernandez a lot in his career, and it hasn't worked out for me. You can see by the, you can look at the resume.
You said it, 1-4 in his last 5, man.
Yeah, I have Austin Hubbard here. I think, again, Alex Hernandez, talented fighter, but I've seen him fade and lose confidence in these fights that doesn't sit well with me. And someone with Austin Hubbard, who is coming off the season with Tough, him doing good there. He lost in the finale, but I think he's just kind of getting started, and I think his confidence is building, working with these high-level, talented champions. Give me Austin Hubbard by decision. I think Alex Hernandez should never be a favorite in his career right now. Where he's at. He should never be this big of a favorite.
You got Hubbard anywhere from plus 134 to plus 150. And this is the third closest call as far as like the betting odds. This is the third closest fight on the card as far as the betting odds go. Obviously you got your plus 140 is any plus money is going to be good money. You probably have to attach it to something to make it worth like a whole lot, but still, like that's another dog, and it's a close one. You got 2 more coming up on the card that are just as close or similar.
Next fight, we have Marina Rodriguez versus the young killer, Iasmin Lucindo. I'm a big fan of Lucindo. I think her at 22 years old I think she's growing. She's going to be a killer in this strawweight division. She is known for being a bully in her fights. She uses her frame or her size and her advantage in her fights in the UFC so far. She's a strong striker. She will stay at range and throw bombs, just almost just spamming overhand rights almost. But she holds her own on the ground as well. Like she's very skilled everywhere. But the talent jump from her opponents to this fight, Viana and Kovacevic, like, and now you're going to fight Marina Rodriguez is insane to me. I know you're young and I know you're still growing, but that jump in competition is really, really insane. I don't care if it's a favorable stylistic matchup here, but we are acting like Marina Rodriguez is completely washed and her striking has taken a hit as well. She's still a skillful kickboxer, has great kicks, a sniper from the distance. If these ladies want to strike and stand up in a striking fight, I think Rodriguez is going to piece up Lucindo. I think she's there to be countered with the looping shots that she throws. Again, I think people are sleeping on Rodriguez. I get it. She hasn't had the most prettiest past in her past performances, but she still is a sniper and she's still a very, very talented Muay Thai fighter. If she wants to go to the clinch, if Lucindo wants to go to this clinch, Marina is nasty as well. Again, this is a tough fight to call because I'm a fan of Lucindo, but I like both. But I think this is a bit too soon for the 22-year-old. Give me the OG here. Give me Marina Rodriguez by decision.
Another dog.
Yeah, dog.
Got 3 of them now, y'all.
I know. And it's crazy because underdogs have kind of been on fire these past 2 cards. 11 underdogs have won the past 2 cards. So underdogs are on fire right now. That doesn't make me want to go in here and like go dog hunting. I'm looking at the stylistic matchups here, and I don't know, man. Lucindo has to have a strong wrestling game here to control Marina on the ground, which I think is very, very hard to do. But Marina's a sniper, bro. And speaking of snipers, the next fight, we have the snipiest sniper of all. We have Wonder Boy Stephen Thompson going against Joaquin Buckley. So, again, people want to fade the 40s, right? It's a very, very popular saying with people breaking down this card. I totally get it. I get it. Buckley is very, very explosive. You can kind of see the maturity and the evolution unfolding with Buckley's, style. He's being more patient. He's very, very athletic. I think his athleticism makes up for, the gray areas and the bad IQ moves from him. But he does a lot of things at 100%. He throws at 100%. He, strikes at 100%. With elevation in Utah, that is not the way to go. I think Buckley may shoot himself in the foot if he doesn't really poise himself and just be patient, probably more patient than he has been. Wonder Boy is 41 years old. He isn't fighting like it though. Thompson has been knocked out 1 time in his UFC career, and that was against Anthony Pettis back in 2019. And that was off.
What a crazy fight!
And that was off a Superman punch off the cage.
Yeah.
But before that, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was whooping his ass. Again, strong wrestlers have been the ones to break Wonderboy. Take control. We got Bilal. What Bilal did to Wonderboy is insane. Gilbert Burns, Shavkat Rakhmonov, like those guys are the ones to break Wonderboy with the wrestling, with the grappling, staying away from the striking as far as they could, bro. Even Shavkat had troubles getting Wonderboy down in that fight, but ended up getting a submission. But he did have trouble in that fight. I know Buckley is explosive; he's fast, but a striker like Thompson, he has seen this before. He has seen the Woodleys at its prime. A very interesting chess match that fight was. But Wonderboy has seen the explosive strikers before. Thompson's chin is still durable. He is getting hit, but his chin hasn't swayed me from saying that he is chinny at 41 years old.
There's no reason to think like there's nothing that we've seen.
He took Kevin Holland's best shot. and ended up finishing Kevin Holland in the 5th round. I think Buckley must get Thompson to the ground and hold him for as long as he can on the ground for 15 minutes, because Thompson on the feet is going to counter the living hell out of this man, and that's who I'm taking. I'm taking Wonder Boy by TKO.
Man, look, Buckley got slept by Chris Curtis, man. Chris Curtis.
So that's another thing. You want to look at resumes, like,
oh, Wonder Boy has a who's who
Buckley
resume in his career.
Yeah, Buckley, his last fight, he's fighting. He beat Rizaboev. But come on, guys, what are we looking at here? Are we looking at age and all these other factors? Are we looking at straight skill? I know this man's fast. He's explosive, yes, but a great person with great footwork.
That's the thing. Wonder Boy's footwork and his spacing, like that's
this man has to. This man is going to have to sprint to get to Wonder Boy.
That's what I mean. Like he's going to have to shoot from across the cage as good as Wonder Boy. Like you said, he's in there with Woodley twice. I know you youngsters don't know who Tyron Woodley is, but Tyron Woodley was Kamaru Usman before Usman was Usman. He's fought. I mean, look. The guy's fought wrestlers. They say he fought Shavkat, fought Bilal. He fought Woodley twice. He fought he fought Big Rig Johnny Hendricks. I mean, like he's the Cote. He knocked out Patrick. Bobby Knuckles. Like the guy's decorated. He's had an insane career. He's fought Buckley's before. Has Buckley ever fought a Wonder Boy?
No. Again, anything could happen in the sport, right? Anything could happen. We can see.
And 41 is 41 too. Like, let's be real.
But we're acting like Stephen Thompson has won 2 wars in his career. He has barely been touched. Like, yeah, as of recent, he has been getting touched a little bit more with strikers. But again, we're still seeing the durability hold up with his chin. And I know Buckley has the power, but is that power going to find a Wonder Boy who's constantly moving, and Buckley's going to have to just sprint to him to find him? And that elevation, get out of here, bro. Give me that underdog. Ain't no way. You're gonna have to prove it to me. But like Buckley's gonna have to prove it to me that he is that guy who he says he is, and talking like he is.
Oh, he's got such
the gift of God.
Oh, he's got such a mouth on him.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, man. I may look stupid. I may look like a clown on Sunday, but
that's all right. Man.
I'm gonna ride with the 41-year-old here, the more experienced fighter, the more cleaner striker, and the person who has better takedown defense than anyone Buckley has ever seen. So give me that OG, bro. Give me the vet.
I like it,
brother. That's 3 underdogs in a row right there. I just gave you guys.
Yep.
Let's get into the main event, the pay-per-view card of UFC 307. But hopefully I have earned your sub with this breakdown so far. Leave a like on the video. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. But let's jump into this pay-per-view card. This card took a hit with Aljamain and Movsar Evelev falling out of this card. Probably it was my favorite fight on this card before that fight even dropped out. I love that fight. But anyways, we have Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland. 2 guys that I feel like I just cannot understand or get a read on. 2 very kind of inconsistent fighters for me. Kevin Holland is probably one of the more where are you at mentally type fighters. I know this sport is really heavy on the mental game. And I had that trouble with Rose Namajunas. Like if Rose is mentally on, I think she's one of the better, probably the best female fighter. But sometimes it's not there and it's not clicking. Same thing with Kevin Holland. Like the skill is there. The man is nasty on the ground. The Darce choke with Chiesa was nasty. The striking is there too. He's very lengthy. He has the reach, but he just doesn't have it. He just has trouble putting it together sometimes. And I just feel like once he becomes that nail for too long, he just has a trouble becoming the hammer again. I feel like he loses confidence fast in these fights, and if he's losing these fights. Roman has power. Yeah, he has gotten outstriked by Imavov, which is nothing to um, slander, but he's got outstruck by Imavov and he's had trouble with Vittori. But other than that, this man has knockouts. I think his knockouts on paper look good, but when you look at the opponents, I think the Jack Hermanson one is probably the best one. And then he has knocked out Phil Hawes and Kyle Dawkins, who have glass chins. So again, he is finishing people, but look at who he's finishing here. But he's nasty in the clinch. He's powerful. He has great kicks. He is powerful with punches in the clinch. So if he can get Kevin Holland against the cage, I think he can do some good work, landing some good power shots. I think that we have to watch Kevin Holland throughout the week to see where Kevin Holland is at. I know we can go off performances and stuff like that, but I think it really just comes down to where is he at. So for pick's sake, it's tough, man. It's really, really tough with this one. I've been going back and forth. I was recently just watching Roman's film and trying to get a read on Roman and just get a feeling for a winner here.
You think Roman's size had anything to do with? I mean, he's coming back down because his last fight was that your boy
Lionheart at
205.
Okay,
yeah, and he's coming back down. I mean, he's in Holland. I mean, Holland is a tall, lanky, skinny, fights at 170 even.
So as of right now, in my notes, I have Roman winning this fight. Kevin Holland is just so up in the air for me. Just for this video's sake and just for pick's sake, I'm going to take the underdog here. I'm going to take Roman Dolidze. I just think I see someone who's going to fight for me for 15 minutes. Someone who's going to show up and be there for 15 minutes. Even if he's doesn't have the volume I want, he's still going to be there in that fight. Him being Georgian is just, he has that pride. He just saw his man Merab win the belt. I feel like maybe that kind of influences him. He's training with Sean Strickland, having rounds with Sean Strickland. I think he's ready to kind of battle the elevation here in Utah. And
that is, I was telling you beforehand, like on Embedded this week, Dolidze looks real calm. He looks real comfortable. He looks real relaxed, like very just unbothered by anything. Like he looks supremely focused. I don't know that I've ever looked at Kevin Holland or heard Kevin Holland talk and think that man is supremely focused.
Again, and Kevin Holland has had this,
he's 5-6-1 in his last 12 since the Dawkins no contest with the head clashes.
Yeah,
he's 5-6-1 in his last 12. Like you said, you said when you made the pick, you're picking based off of thinking and trusting that somebody is going to go in there for 15 minutes and give you all they got. The fact that you even have to question if Kevin Holland is going to do that, I think is very, very telling.
Man, like, it's not like Kevin Holland is just, I don't know, I can't trust it.
He's one of the most frustrating fighters.
Yeah.
Because the dude is supremely talented. He's always wanting to fight. He's always ready to go and fight anyone, anytime, on any notice. But I think sometimes maybe it catches up to him. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's just taking fights. He was speaking about fighter pay earlier this week. He had a soundbite go out about fighter pay and about how guys don't fight enough, but they're complaining about not making money and how he's good because he fights a lot. That might not always be great though.
So that's the thing. That's a double-edged sword there. Like,
exactly,
the activity is nice for us that are watching, but for you to grow as a fighter,
and it's nice for his bank account clearly, but
taking short notice fights, how much are you growing though? Like, how much of skills are you sharpening?
How long before you're on a 4-fight losing streak because you did a 2020 Kevin Holland run again and you were really feeling yourself, but you ended up on a 4-fight losing streak. And now Dana's like, yeah, I'm good on you, bro. Like, yeah, I'll go. Great. Your bank account was cool then. What now? Like, take smarter fights. Take more time. Build it up. You're a great fighter, and he's still young enough. Like, his career ain't over yet. He's got a lot of miles, but I don't know. Dolidze looks just super focused. He's coming down from 205 off of a big win over your boy. And again, I'm to the point now with Kevin Holland. He's one of those fighters that just because of the fact that I don't know what I'm getting from him, I can't feel confident picking him. I can't feel confident saying anything definitively that he's going to go in there and do this or that because I have no clue what Kevin Holland is going to show up. You just kind of throw your hands up and hope for the best when it comes to him.
So it's crazy that I'm going to tell you to stay away from this fight betting wise, but I think your money goes further betting on the underdog here. If I were if I were to give you advice here about betting this, like stay away from it. But if I were to tell you to pick someone, I would say your money goes further with Roman.
Hey man, you do the Friday, it might be totally different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You got to tune back in. You feel me?
I want to see what the over rounds. Maybe it's over 2.5. Okay. Again, just stay away from this completely. Yeah. I was hoping for a 1.5. It'd just be easy, I think. But yeah, 2.5 rounds.
That's a tough spot.
It is. So I would say, stay away from it. Or I think the underdog is more valuable here. Okay, women's bantamweight fight. Here we go. We have Ketlen Vieira versus Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison coming off that UFC 300 performance against Holly Holm just made the preacher's daughter look like yikes. Goodness gracious. That wrestling is for real, guys.
Yo.
I know she has the medals, but when you see it live, you're watching her fights because I didn't watch the PFL not one bit, but the wrestling is for real. Kayla can strike though, and then she's crafty with her submissions on the ground, but the way Kayla is moving, and she's a huge favorite. I think this is a good style matchup for Kayla because Kayla, she is crafty on the ground, but I've seen her being taken down by less, fighters who have less credentials in wrestling, and I don't know, man.
This seems like
just to throw it up and just.
That's exactly it.
An alley for Kelly.
I don't think that it's a surprise that it's on the same card as Rocky and Pena because Harrison's coming for the winner of that one. It's a perfect setup. It's a perfect way for the UFC to showcase Harrison against Vieira, who's a top five, I believe, right? Top 5 in the division, and Harrison's gonna run through her.
Absolutely.
Harrison's gonna absolutely. She looks focused this week too. She looks very relaxed, very just in tune, and she's like, she seems almost antsy. Like she's like, man, let's get to this. I just want to finish this, get up on the mic, talk my shit, call for that title shot. She's one that I think is gonna make, not because of her fighting or anything. I just think because of her domination, she's gonna make that division real boring, real quick.
Oh yeah,
she's really good, man.
Listen, guys, I kind of have a crazy prediction. I'm sure a lot of people are thinking this too, but Kayla Harrison wins and gets the winner of the co-main event. I think Kayla Harrison beats the champion and gets the belt, and I think Amanda Nunes comes out of retirement to fight Kayla Harrison next year. I think Amanda Nunes comes back, guys. I think
that's what pulls her out. Huh?
I think Amanda Nunes just wanted something new. She wants a new face. She wants some new blood in this division. I think Pena just annoyed the hell out of her.
That's what I was gonna say. So Pena all this week, all she's done is talk about the Nunes fights and how no one has ever dominated her like that, and how even when she lost, Nunes couldn't finish her. She said that, bro. At a press, she said, even though I lost, she couldn't finish me.
How are you finding positives and getting your ass?
Because she won. That's why. So she's hanging on to that. And we'll get back to it in the other fight. But
so wild.
Do you don't think there's a world where Pena wins the belt back gets on, just talks even crazier, calls out Nunez like on some, hey, why you so scary or blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't think there's any way that gets her back? I think Harrison's obviously the way bigger money fight too.
Yeah.
And like just like legacy fight. But you don't think there's any world where Nunez is just gonna sit there and watch this on Saturday, be like, whatever.
Yeah.
I sunned you already.
She's gonna laugh it off. She's gonna post something on Instagram saying whatever, like, haha, show her, show the belts.
Yeah. She gonna stun on her.
It's like, hey, look at my belts. Like,
she go little homier.
The film is out there in the world that I beat your ass for 25 minutes. Like, go look at it. Yeah, I think Kayla Harrison's the one to bring out Amanda Nunes out of retirement.
I like that.
And I think we see it next year. So that's my hot take of this, besides my underdogs. Next fight, man. The King of Rio. Jose Aldo.
Jose.
Versus Mario Bautista. I think Mario Bautista is shocked, and I think he said that in an interview that he's shocked that Jose took this fight. I was like, nigga, do you know who you dealing with? Listen, I haven't been the biggest Jose Aldo fan, but man, I've become a fan in the last years of his career. Yeah, so
he doesn't get. I hate that it went down the way it did with Connor.
Oh,
that's gonna be the main memory of him, even though his career was like. If we're being real, like his career is right there, if not better than Connor's. Connor just has the 2 belts. Not that like I'm not diminishing that, but like Aldo was that guy.
10 years, bro.
WEC.
10 years of domination.
Like just and like domination. You ain't never have all. I was like, oh man, this dude slept through this one or this dude.
And
like,
not wrestling, outstriking people.
That boy ain't no wrestling.
Striking for 10 years, beating people's ass with kicks. Nasty. Some of the best kicks in the MMA world.
Yeah, I just, yeah, man. Aldo's he's that dude, man.
Listen, how old is this man? 38 years old. Listen, I'm not that high on Mario Bautista. Like, he showed Ricky Simone had moments against Mario Bautista. Damon Blackshear on short notice again had moments against Mario Bautista. Obviously the resume is not there when you compare them, but just looking at Mario Bautista's recent wins, and now you're going to fight this man Jose Aldo, like, jeez, bro, that's a huge step up. And I know Mario Bautista is a very, very talented fighter. He has the tools. He trains with Sean O'Malley in that team, but I think Mario does good when he is doing the leg kicks. I know later on in Jose Aldo's career, like he kind of faded away from using his leg kicks and more of just his hands. But if Jose can bring back those leg kicks and damage the lead leg of Mario, this fight's over with. Like, I don't think Mario can fight with one leg and do what he does best with one leg. So, shit, man. I'm going King of Rio, baby. I'm going the underdog again. I just think
So man night in Salt Lake, man.
Again, people are fading the older people here, but I think there's value in these older people fighting who they're fighting.
I like that. Yeah.
Mario does well when he gets takedowns, but come on, man. You taking Jose Aldo down? Who's taking Jose Aldo down? He has been taken down, yes, but who is taking him down? I don't think Mario Bautista is that guy to do it on Saturday. And if this fight is on the feet striking, give me the power, give me the volume, give me the person who's going to be active for 15 minutes. Give me Jose to win by a split decision, man.
So that fight is the closest on the odds of the night. You can get this anywhere, Jose plus 100 all the way up to plus 128. You can get Jose at. Like on me with Cesars, I have plus 115 for Jose.
And I know he was boxing or he took us, some side quests to go box and stuff, but his last win speaks volumes to me against Jonathan Martinez. I rank Jonathan Martinez, and the way I look at Jonathan Martinez, I view him higher in any kind of ranking to Mario Bautista. And what he did to Jonathan Martinez, and I got to go with the King of Rio, man. I haven't seen the decline in Aldo's game yet for me to fade him. Give me that.
Let's be real. His last 5, the only loss he has is to Merab. Going back to 2020, Aldo's only loss is to Merab.
The wrestler. He's the only person that probably would take it down, man.
He beat Cheeto. He beat Pedro Munoz.
What are we talking about, bro? What are we doing?
It's not like he's beating cans out here still at his event. Like, he's still out here fighting the best of the best in the division. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Man, co-main event time. We have Raquel Pennington defending her belt against Juliana Pena. Juliana Pena is talking her way into being relevant in 2024 and in this division. I mean, it's not like this division has anyone in this division anyways, but
yeah, there's slim pickings.
So
division.
I know I just said what I said about Pena, but she is a dog. Again, she's gonna fight her ass off for 25 minutes, and we've seen it time and time again in these fights. But the striking is disgusting. I'm talking form, the way she punches. How you did this deep in the game and you haven't fixed that yet? Like, it's like this. Like, it drives me insane how fighters can get comfortable in doing what they do and it doesn't work. Maybe it is part of it to where she's just walking forward, throwing these awkward strikes and catching her opponents off guard, and then she goes for takedowns, or just trying to close the distance for her to work her jiu-jitsu. Man. But it's been 2 years since we've seen Juliana Pena, and the last time we saw her, she was getting her ass beat, I think. Right? By Nunes? So, again,
the fact that she hasn't been able to stop talking about this week.
Again, the only thing that worries me is Pena possibly locking up submission, throwing up something, and catches Raquel. But we saw Raquel fight off Bueno Silva, who I think is a nasty jiu-jitsu person as well, and Raquel surviving. And I think Raquel is very, very well versed in just her tools and on the ground as well. She has some submission to her resume as well. But I think Juliana's going to get countered like she has her whole career with that striking. Raquel has underrated hands. I feel like the hands are crisper. She's cleaner. But again, the elevation does worry me with Pennington. I know she trains in elevation, but I don't know why it worries me. I feel like I've seen her fade a little bit. But I just have to go the more technical person here. That's why I'm taking the champ to retain that belt. I think the UFC wants Juliana Pena to take this belt just for promo. And
well, that was one of the things that Pena was saying today. I saw the clip that she said Rocky isn't doing anything for the women's division, that she's not doing anything to further it, she's not doing anything to advertise it, she's not trying to be the face of it, she's just here. Which, I mean, if I'm being honest, I haven't heard Rocky say one word this week.
That's one of the
she hasn't even been on Embedded. Like,
really,
bro. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is there, but like, yeah, and Pena's got there's validity to that, and I do agree with you as well. I think they want that strap back on Pena. I think they want to trot around the Nunes win, and kind of have that as the claim to fame to their champion. Because what is Rocky? I mean, it's great fighter on a six fight winning streak or something like that, 8 fight winning streak. I mean,
6.
Yeah, 6 fight winning streak. So great fighter in the champ, but I do think the UFC wants to strap around Pena. I think Pena gets it done. I think Pena Harrison obviously is next, and now I think it's going to play out the same way that you're predicting with Nunes coming back. But I think Pena And I think that unless it's clear, too, like a clear decision, man, Rocky better make it out of reach.
Yeah.
If she wants that the judging this year, you know, and if the UFC wants that strap around Pena's waist, it'll end up there.
So I think there's a lot of value on Pena this weekend. Again, I think this fight is going to be close. I think it's going to be a split decision because Pena is going to put out that volume. She's going to make things messy. She might land more because that's just the style that Pena has. So there is a lot of value for the plus 140 that I see here on the ESPN app, but I think it's a split. I think it's a close fight actually. I know I just kind of shitted on Juliana Pena, but yeah, thinking about it now, like the way Pena fights, I think she can just score more. The numbers are going to be in her favor, maybe. Especially if you know Raquel likes to get her opponents against the cage and use the fight in the clinch, make it a dirty boxing type fight. Pena can score there too. So I think it's a split. Thinking about it now, I'll go split decision, but I'll go the champ still. But I think Pena has a lot of value to her name. So it's not a bad bet to just money line it. Let me see this.
Yeah, because the fight going the distance, there's not a lot of value on.
Yeah, it's a nasty number.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it goes this decision, but again, there's value on the underdog here with Juliana Pena, and she's gonna fight for your money again. Like we said about Roman, like he's gonna fight for your money for as long as this fight goes. And we've seen Pena getting her ass beat by Nunes for 25 minutes, and she never gave up, kept coming forward. What does that look like when Raquel's backing up for 25 minutes, trying to just get some room to breathe? So, am I talking myself into doing opinion? Like, what the fuck is happening here?
Friday gonna sound different, man. I'm telling you, y'all gotta come back.
All right, guys. I think I do have to make another
y'all gotta come back.
A Friday episode of Final Picks because I think I'm just talking to myself. Maybe me hearing other people talk about this fight will sway me, but I'm gonna stay with the champ for this fight, for this video. And
look, I'm gonna tell you one thing: tonight or Friday, nothing better sway you from this next fight. All right,
we have the superstar of the UFC right now. We have one of the more
carrying on his back right now,
brother. We have the guy, Alex Poton Pereira versus Khalil Rountree Jr. Alex is defending his belt again. I feel like he's fought 4 times this year, maybe. Is this his 4th fight this year?
Got you right.
Defending the belt 3 times, I think.
This is his 3rd fight this year. He fought also 3 times last year, including in November. So yeah, you're looking at the last year and a half. This is going to be his 6th fight.
The activity is real.
And like here's the crazy part too. If you look at his last this is his 7th title fight in a row. At multiple weight classes too. Like, yeah. There's 6 title fights, sorry. Because he did have the debut against Blachowicz at 205. Also in Salt Lake, actually. Yeah, that was last year in Salt Lake with the BMF title as the main event.
So,
but I mean, yeah, it's not just the activity either, it's the ways that he's winning. He's putting on shows, man. He's giving the people what they want. He's putting the company on his back. He's starting to show his personality a lot more.
Yes.
Which is super dope to me when he doesn't even, if this dude knew English, even the slightest bit of English, he'd be ESPN famous. You know what I mean? Like it'd be crazy. I have nothing to say on this fight. It's all you. You know who I got.
Absolutely.
I don't see. I see a fluke knockout being the only way that Rountree wins this fight. I don't see a route to his victory. Poetan learned from his last fight in Salt Lake where he looked a little bit sluggish against Jan, and that might have been the jump to 205 too. But he admittedly said the altitude was different. He's been up in Salt Lake for I think over a week now. He's gotten used to it. He's trained in it. He's done the weight cut in it. We'll see how he looks on Friday. He learned from the last time he was here. Like, this man is a basically 2-division champ. He never lost 85. He just was like, y'all got y'all on that. Whatever, I'm moving up to 205. And he is still making adjustments. He's still getting better. He's still learning. He's still adjusting his camp. Like, this dude is... Izzy came out today and said he hopes that he wins and just retires as the greatest.
Oh, retires too, huh?
Izzy said he hopes he retires as the great. He goes, I hope he just retires as the greatest so that I can say one time I beat that guy. Which is like one of the only times I've ever liked Izzy. Like, it's... He wins this because I'm going to be real with you. I only have interest in talking about after this fight and what's next.
Go up.
Yeah? I worry so much that heavyweight's going to get... I worry that Jones is going to play with the heavyweight division for like another year, man. So I worry he's going to string that alike. He's going to beat Stipe, and then he's going to play this back and forth with Aspinall where he's like, I'm going to retire. And then Tom's going to talk him out of retirement. It's like, but also, like, yeah, let's... at 205, what else are we doing?
We got Magomed Ankalaev waiting.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, if
and if you've heard Poetan talking about, he said he might want to go back to 85 and fight DDP.
Oh, yes.
He said he feels good. He's like, I feel good enough to make the cut back down.
Oh, shit.
That'd be now, I'm here for that. I'm here for that one. I still got Poetan. But oof. I think that's a hell of a fight. I think DDP has a better chance of beating him than Khalil.
Facts.
I think DDP's I think he's a way better all-around fighter. Again, I think Khalil has a knockout, and that's the only route he has to this win. But again, beating Lionheart, that's your... Like, I don't get it.
So the win streak that Khalil's on right now, Anthony Smith, Chris Daukaus, no longer with...
Who you mentioned earlier.
No... So that was his brother, Kyle Daukaus.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
So Chris Daukaus is not even with the UFC anymore. Yeah. Dustin Jacoby, Carl Robeson. Come on, he's not even with the promotion anymore. And then we have Modestas Bukauskas. So you're telling me, I know he's finished 4 of those people. You're supposed to do that to those people, I think. I think you are the more better striker out of all those guys. So you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, yes. But you go the fight before that, you got beat by Marcin Prachnio, Ian Cutelaba. That's where I'm like, shit, I can't even get back you. So in those fights, we saw Khalil break. Again, he's one of these fighters that you don't know what we're gonna get. Sometimes he doesn't even show up. He didn't show up for that Prachnio fight, and that's how one of the worst 205ers. Marcin Prachnio, I'm so sorry I just did that to you, Marcin. But the lower tier Marcin Prachnio did that to you. Like, it doesn't sit well with me. I don't care about this win streak. You outstruck kickboxers and a big guy, Chris Daukaus, who was moving down in weight. He's still a heavyweight, and then he moved down to fight you at 205, and his chin is never held up in the UFC. So you're fighting chinny fighters, lost to Marcin Prachnio and Ian Cutelaba, got knocked out by Cutelaba. Like, it just doesn't sit well with me at all. So again, he's one of these fighters who I think is like Rose, is like, and Kevin Holland, like, the mental game of this person and this fighter means more to me than the skill, because he is a very talented Muay Thai striker. But again, I've seen him checked out, not show up on his A game, and he loses. So you want to bring this to one of the probably the most talented kickboxer ever, Alex Pereira, and someone who was on a killing streak of knocking out these people. And again, it's going to take a fluke strike to catch Poatan. But at 205, we've seen Yuri, find the chin, and Pereira has eaten it. I think Khalil, it's gonna have to be a kick or something like. I don't know, but I could maybe something really, really crazy, like maybe Poatan with the evolution of his game, working with Glover, maybe I don't know, Pereira, clubs and subs this man.
Hey, look,
That'd be fucking insane.
The first time I see this dude shoot for a takedown, I might leave.
Club and sub.
Stop. Ask Glover how that worked out against Yuri.
So I can't take the challenger. He didn't even know that he was getting this fight a few months ago. It was a surprise that he saw this fight announced. And now he wants to kick up his training camp and train like a champ. Like, nah, dog. It's not in you, I don't think. So
this was, I feel like this was them. They needed something.
They did.
They needed something. They're like, well, we're going to Salt Lake. We got to give them something. He's been here before, but who can we put him against? I guess Khalil. If you let Poatan tell it and his camp tell it, Ankalaev turned down the fight at 205. That is, I totally did forget about Ankalaev. That one does intrigue me just because Ankalaev's been talking so tough.
Brother,
I'm talking crazy about like, yeah, I'm not gonna take him down. I'm gonna stand with him and bet like, all right, dude, go ahead. Like, but he's been real mouthy, so I did forget about that one.
I'm one of the few Ankalaev fans out here in the MMA community. I like Magomed Ankalaev.
We ain't got no problem with the Dagestani fighters, unlike all of social media does.
They hate that man. But give me the champ, bro. I think this is
easy. This is the easiest call that you've had to make. Other than like Kayla Harrison and Poatan are the two easiest calls like you've had to make since I've been here doing the pod with you, man. Like this is, I say that, and obviously now like Rountree's gonna win in 2, but it's, I mean, come on, this is easy.
This man aura just goes up. The stardom goes up. This man has saved pay-per-views for this company 2 or 3 times now.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is just something else. So, Poatan wins, and still.
There it is.
So I will give my picks again, guys. There's a hefty bag of underdogs I'm going with this week, and I'm not even.
A lot of dogs.
I'm not even like. I'm kind of comfortable with it. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna put all your dogs on the card right now, just to.
All right,
see what the number.
I'm gonna read off these dogs, and then we'll go to that. So first fight we have Tim Means. I'm going Tecia Pennington. I'm going OSP dog number 1. I'm going Cesar Almeida. I'm going Austin Hubbard, dog number 2. I'm going Marina Rodriguez, dog number 3. Stephen Thompson, dog number 4. For this pick, I'm going Roman Dolidze, dog number 5. I'm going Kayla Harrison. I'm going Jose Aldo, dog number 6. I'm going Raquel Pennington in the co-main and still, and then I'm going Poatan in the main event. So 6 underdogs.
You got 6 dogs with Caesars. If you put all 6 dogs on a card, you're betting $10 to win $2,000. Not $2,000, $2,727.95.
You guys have to join me on Friday's episode before I leave to California. Be here in Vegas for this fight. But I'm gonna put out my final picks and bets. Maybe I'm gonna give my bets out right now. I'll give my bets out right now, actually. So I have something here. I have the Pennington parlay.
He named it. Okay.
Yeah, I got a little creative.
I
got a little creative with the name. I got the Pennington parlay here with Tecia and Raquel winning. I think they're really good. I mean, very low favorites in their fights, but right now I'm comfortable with this. Again, I'm gonna maybe the co-main I get swayed, but right now I'm comfortable with the Pennington parlay. Next bet, Harrison and Vieira over 2.5 rounds. And then some of my more reliable money line underdogs, the King of Rio at plus 120, and then Marina Rodriguez at plus 140 are my reliable underdogs here for this card. So those are my bets. I think I'm gonna mostly just kind of stay away from this card. This card's kind of sketchy. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I might just sprinkle something on those dogs. I mean, that's some good money there.
You got me. You got me.
So, though that is the full card breakdown for UFC 307 going down this week. Maybe Drew here will join me for the rest of this month because there's some really good cards this month.
Oh man, sober sad,
brother. We got 2 pay-per-views this month.
Ooh, then the the pay-per-view later this month.
308 is my favorite card right now on paper. Oh my goodness. But there's some good fight nights as well, and some good main events going down this month. So look out for those breakdowns. Thank you guys for just joining us for this breakdown. Again, go to the Keep It a Buck Media YouTube page and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you guys on the next breakdown.
John.
Peace.